Do you know what it's like to be in a little fishing boat, you know, sipping your drink and you're all peaceful and quiet, and have an A6 intruder come over your head at 10 feet at 600 knots? You know what that's like? I'm not sure either, but I know one guy that does. And he was waving at us, saying, I guess. We never saw that. But you can bring a wall of water on each side of a fishing boat. It's really cool. So we were having a great time. We were going into the Boardman bombing range. I was the lead EA-6B Prowler. On my wing was an A-6, flown by my friend Kirby Barker. And Kirby and I were heading on in. Of course, it's getting late in the day. We're coming in when it's light. By the time we get to the Boardman bombing range, which has like school buses and stuff, empty ones, in the bombing range. And we're going to the bombing range, and the EA-6B Prowler, my aircraft, the job is to pop up, turn on the jammers, knock out all the approach control radars, all the communication, all the SAM sites, and the aircraft is quite good at that. In fact, one of our aircraft could knock out the whole West Coast, knock out LA and everything. Really, really cool. One aircraft. So we're up there doing what we need to do, and Kirby Barker goes up, and near as we could tell, right, rolls inverted to go into the bomb run, and when he rolls inverted, his ADI fails. Any private pilots in here? All direction indicator tells you where your wings are. It fails, freezes, lost power. So we think, you know, Kirby pulling, right, to try to bring the wings around, and he pulls around, right into the mountain range, the Boardman bombing range, 600 miles an hour, straight to the ground. You know, the pilots are taught that you always have a scan where you're going between electronic and mechanical gyros. And you're always scanning back and forth, watching electronics and cross-referencing it to mechanical, looking outside. At night, or in the dusk, you lose visual reference outside, so you're all doing instruments. 600 knots at 10 feet off the ground, there's just not a lot of reaction time. And of course, you know, he would pop up and roll back down. Safety center came out, and I'd never seen this before in my life. I was just a junior pilot. You guys might have seen this in the Army. They go to the site, and they pick up every single piece of the aircraft. And they bring it back, every single piece. And they put the airplane back together on the floor of VAQ-129, the replacement air group. They put it back together, every piece where it went. I'd never seen this before. And I couldn't find the front 10 feet. It just didn't exist. I didn't know that it was possible to just vaporize. And back in the late 80s, Kirby Barker was identified by a piece of his orange name tag, about this big. And it was the way that we identified him from being from our squadron. Didn't have the DNA stuff. I watched his wife and his kids pack up their stuff and move out of base housing. He lived right next door. I watched another group lose their lives. And Navy investigation, the answer was for the cause of the crash. There, of course it was, right? But they also found that there was a power failure in the aircraft. So there was something that the pilot needed that he didn't get that cost him the team's life. This is where I'm headed. What do teams need to have access to that without it can destroy them? What do you think, Britt?
Feedback.
That's good. That's good, because now go up a level. Feedback ties to
Resources.
yeah, communication ties to, because you know the pilot and the bombardier navigator in an A6, they're not ECMOs, they're BNs, bombardier navigators. They were good friends. They knew each other well. They got along well. So this model doesn't fit. Great motivational climate. They were good friends. This model doesn't fit. They were well trained. It was the end of our training command. They knew what they were doing. They had a lot of experience. The navigator had a lot of experience. The pilot was an experienced junior pilot. They had this. What's missing? What did he get, James? What's missing?
That connection between your top left and your bottom right.
Yes. Give me more. Let me lead the witness a little better. There's something What caused Kirby Barker to crash the aircraft? From the story, why did he crash?
Loss of power,
Yeah, loss of power,
not looking back and
which was
forth.
something else.
Bad information.
Bad information. He was being lied to by his instruments. They lost power.
Wrong thinking.
Well, yeah, but it tied to bad information. I think that you could make a real claim that teams need to have good, accurate, reliable, right? Any other words you want in there? Information. Hey, I'm an engineer, remember? Good, accurate, reliable information. In fact, I think this comes under the title of, ready? Resources. A team has to have access to resources. So a team has got to know what they're doing, how they're doing it, and the way they're doing it. The team's got to have the resources to do it, and the team's got to have the climate in order for it to take action to support any goal or vision, mission, or purpose. So that's the lay of the land.